Hi Year 9. Today we're going to have a look at profit, loss and discounts. So these are all things that we encounter when we're looking at prices of things. So we're talking about items that we're buying and selling. So we're going to start with profit. Now, profit is when a business sells an item for more than they paid for it. This is something that you probably already knew. And we have two formulas here in this rectangle that we're going to use. So first of all, profit is just whatever we sell the item for, take away whatever we paid for it. So that formula is just one number minus the other. Nice and easy. And then percentage profit, we're going to write our profit as a fraction. And then we know to make it a percentage, we just have to times by 100. So let's have a go at a few of these things. So here I'm using a table for the examples. That's what I'm going to do for this whole lesson because that's what your questions look like today. So we have this example where we're told the cost price. Now the cost price just means the original. That's what cost price is. And then selling price, well, that's what we sell the item for. Profit in dollars, that just means the actual dollar amount, the extra money that this business makes. And profit as a percentage is what percentage we made, what percentage of money that we made extra. So let's look at how all this works. Profit, we see in this formula at the top of the page, is selling price take away cost price. So if we have, let's say this is, I don't know, a pair of sunnies that a store buys for $30, but when they sell it for $45. So the profit that they've made is what they sold it for, take away what they paid for it. So they end up with $15 profit because that's the extra between 30 and 45. We'll do the same in the second row. Let's say we have, a chair worth $120. So the shop buys it for $120, but when they sell it for $160. So you might be able to just look at that and say, oh, well, they've made $40. Or you can say 160, take away 120. So what they sold it for, take away what they paid for it, is $40. So to work out profit in dollars, we're just minusing. Then profit as a percentage. This means what is $15 as a percentage of the original of 30? So what we do is we write that as a fraction. We write 15, the profit, out of 30. So you can see in our formula here, it's just the profit over the cost price. So you can look at the headings of the table to help you know what number goes where. And then we're going to multiply that by 100 to make it a percentage. And that is going to come up as 50% when you type that in your calculator. So the business bought it for $30 and then they made a 50% profit because half of 30 is 15 and that's how much money they added on top when they sold it. We'll do the same down here for the chair that was $120. So the profit was $40. That's how much extra the business made out of the cost price. So 40 over 120. And then we times by 100 to make it a percentage. And that will give us a percentage of 33%, or about a third. So that's the percentage that they added on top of the price when they sold it. Let's have a look at loss now. So loss is the opposite of profit. So this is when a business buys an item. So let's say they bought that t-shirt for $30, but then when they sold it in a sale for $25. So they've actually sold it for less than what they paid. So this is the opposite of profit. And we have our same two formulas here, but you can see this time it's cost price minus selling price. If you're ever not sure which way around these two numbers go, if you end up with a negative, that means they were the wrong way around. So we're going to look at another table here. This time we have a cost price of $88. So whatever this item was, the shop bought it for $88, but then when they sold it, they only sold it for $75. This also happens not in shops, but if you bought something, so let's say you bought a Game Boy for $88, and then a year later you decided you didn't want it anymore, so you sell it on eBay, but only for $75, because you're not going to get someone buying a brand new Game Boy you're not going to get someone buying an old Game Boy for the same price as you bought it for. So again, loss is just one number minus the other. So if we do 88 take away 75, that gives us $13 that we've lost off the original price. To work that out as a percentage, we take that 13 and we put it over the cost price, which was 88, and then we're going to times by 100. So in our calculators, 13 over 88, and then we multiply by 100, gives us a percentage of about 15% when I round it. It's actually 14.77 ... a whole lot of other numbers. So I'm going to round it to 15%. I'll do the same again here. Let's say I bought a nice new TV for $350, but then I sold it a couple years later for $285. So the loss is what I bought it for, take away what I sold it for. So $350 take away $285 is $65 that I've lost. Okay, then to work it out as a percentage, I take that 65 and I put it over the original, the cost price, which is $350 times by 100, and in our calculators, that will give us about 19%. So it's 18.57. I'm going to round that up to a whole number. Okay, let's have a quick look at discounts to finish off this lesson. So a discount, you guys probably already know, is when a shop is selling something and they say, you know what, we're going to have a sale, we'll sell it for less money. And they'll usually tell us the discount as a percentage. So a shop might say, we're having a 30% off sale. So they tell you the percentage, and to work out how much money you've saved, you just multiply that by what the price was. So let's have a look at that with a table as well. So here we have a t-shirt that's worth $30, and the shop has a 10% off sale. So all I'm going to do is multiply to work out what the discount is. So I do 10%. Now in my calculator that goes in as 10 out of 100 because a percentage is out of 100. And I'll times it by that $30. And 10% of $30 is $3. So in this 10% off sale, I'm saving $3. Now this time we have to work out the selling price. So if the t-shirt was $30 and I'm saving $3, I can just do $30 take away the $3 that I'm saving. So I'm paying $27 for the t-shirt. We can do the same with a phone. So this phone is worth $850 and the shop is having a 15% off sale. So I multiply 15% is 15 out of 100 times by the price of the phone, which is $850. So 15 out of 100 times by $850 in our calculators is $127.50. That's how much I'm saving on this phone. So if I'm saving this much and it used to be this much, then I'm just going to do $850 take away $127.50 because that's what I'm saving. And in my calculator, that tells me that the new price that I'm paying is $722.50 for this phone. So I've done an example very similar to the questions that you're going to do. You'll notice in the notes that I've written the discount table is very similar to what you're going to do in question 6. The loss table is very similar to what you're going to do in question 7b. And the profit table is similar to what you're going to do in 7a. So those questions that you're going to go through are 2D, question 6, question 7, and then question 9 is exactly the same. They just don't give you the table. So if you would like to draw up a table for question 9, you are more than welcome to.